In the off-season, things get cheaper. So good strategy.
This is seeing it in practice for us.
Saved us a lot of money.
Away we go traveling.
We've spent the last year doing full-time slow travel in the United States, including some of the more expensive states and cities during the summer months. That sort of hurt our budget if you've watched any of those previous videos, but we think we have a solution. Welcome to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in the off-season.
By coming here in the off-season, we were able to see all the beach with zero crowds and a fraction of the price. So we're going to break down our entire spend for the 40 days in Myrtle Beach and how going someplace in the off-season can help your travel budget.
So we had planned this trip for this year, and we knew we were going to be spending a whole bunch of money in the summer. Vermont, Rhode Island, Maine, all expensive places, in particular in the summer. So we knew we needed to have a location that was going to help offset our budget costs. So this was sort of a planned thing. We knew we needed an off-season, shoulder season type location, but one that we knew we'd still have a good time with. And we also knew, being as we'd been in the Northeast for a little bit of time, we'd been moving a little faster, we wanted a place we could really settle down and really take it easy. So in our minds, we thought a beach location was going to be the way to go. So, looking at the locations and the budgeting and, what housing was and food costs and all that kind of stuff, we decided on Myrtle Beach and thought, well, this is going to be fun. We've never been there before.
Yeah, I'd never been. It was really relaxing. And that was the whole point, was to take some time to decompress and have just a whole lot of beach and not a lot of other things to do.
Yep. And you'll see that in our budget. We don't have a lot of things in here that were entertainment related. We spent a lot of time at the beach. We spent a lot of time just decompressing and reflecting on what we did through this year and trying to talk about how it went and what we want to do going forward in 2026. So to get started, I think like we always do, we'll start off with accommodations because that's typically our most expensive. And it was for this month as well, but it's pretty reasonable, I think. So we had a total of $2,481.32, which is $62.03 a day, which is pretty good.
That is really good.
And it's over, again, we spent 40 days there. So this wasn't just a regular 1 month stay. I've mentioned it in a previous budget video, but this was an anomaly where as I added more days, I started at 28 to get the discount. As I added more days just to kind of get an idea of what the pricing was, I kept adding days and the price was literally dropping more and more and more.
On Airbnb?
On Airbnb, every day. Every day I added, the price got cheaper. And not cheaper per day, it got cheaper overall.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how. So I ended up finding that 40 days was the last day that it went down. At 41 days, it went way up and went back the other direction. No idea. So that sort of decided how long we were going to stay here.
Right.
If you're going to let me stay at the beach a little longer, I'm going to take it. So we ended up staying for 40 days because of an amazing discount. And again, it ended up being just over $62 a day, which is very reasonable. We had a 2-bedroom.
Yeah, a 2-bedroom beach cottage. It was like, 2 blocks maybe from the beach, maybe a block and a half. It was really great since we'd been fast traveling through a lot of places and some very small and cramped quarters and some not so great Airbnb locations. I'll link to that video. This was really wonderful to be right on the beach, super quiet, off season, 2-bed, 2-bath. It was really, really nice. And again, we planned this off season, and as Gary mentioned, the way to maximize and see what you can do for your budget is if you're using Airbnb, there are ways to play with things. Don't say a date through a date. Put in the full month, put in 2 months. Say you're flexible. As Gary started doing, throw different days on there and see what the price does. Play around with that. It can save you a lot of money. It did for us.
Yeah, if you're flexible with how you do your searching, you're willing to put a little work in, Airbnb has some interesting little quirks that you can end up finding some good deals. So in this case, I think this was really good for us. Like I said, the space was big.
Oh, yeah.
2 beds, 2 baths, really nice kitchen, really nice living room. I think you probably have video of this that's playing underneath us. And, it was just a 3-minute walk to the beach. So we spent an exceptional amount of time just walking down to the beach and hanging out during the day. It was pretty fantastic. And as we mentioned, shoulder season, the crowds were very, very minimal.
Very much. And everybody that was there was kind of doing what we were doing. So it was really nice to talk to other people with a similar travel vibe. It was fun.
Yep.
All right, so our next category that we track our budget is through transportation. We do drive through the United States in our SUV and then stay in Airbnbs and places like that, or short-term rentals. So we do have gas associated with that. For this trip in Myrtle Beach, we had a little gas, maybe a few tolls to get to where we were going. But Myrtle Beach itself, and actually Atlantic Beach, the whole area, or North Myrtle Beach, doesn't really have public transportation that we could find. So if we were going somewhere, we were either walking or driving. So most of our transportation cost was gas, which was $518.92.
I think that also includes our car insurance and the
Mm,
tolls to
mhm,
get there. We had to pay
mhm.
tolls on the way down. And there was a little bit of driving involved because we didn't really have, other than walking to the beach. If we weren't walking to the beach, we had to drive wherever we went.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But it was a way to save money through the accommodations that then offset the amount of driving we had to do.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
All right, next up, our eating out, drinking out, coffee, all those types of things was a total of $1,255 for 40 days.
For 40 days.
It's definitely lower than we have been.
Right.
That
It's been
go us.
It's been painful. Yes, go us.
Some months have been painful. This was not one of them. We spent a significant time eating in, which I think we'll cover with groceries when we get to those. We ate most of our meals in. We obviously ate breakfast and lunches in, I think almost every day. So we did have a few dinners out. I think we had an anniversary over this time period where we had a nice anniversary dinner. We did spend a little money on getting some like canned cocktails and stuff we take to the beach. That was just kind of nice to go sit on the beach and have a drink or
mimosa with a sunrise.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's nice.
So, those added a little bit, but in general, we didn't go out as much as we
No,
normally
we did not.
So it was expensive. We still do go out and eat out occasionally, but it was a pretty good month for that. Again, sort of intentionally.
Yeah. So the next category in our travel spend for 40 days in Myrtle Beach was our groceries. We spent $706.43. So a lot of that, again, the way that we save money when we're traveling is to find accommodations that have a kitchen so we can cook our food. We go and buy groceries at a place like Aldi or a discount type of grocery store so that we spend less on our food. We cook it at home, and that way our budget goes a lot farther as we travel.
And we had a Costco again, too.
Oh, Costco.
So we went and we had a couple of Costco trips in there, which was great. I think that was the bulk of our dinner. So it was good. Between Costco and I think there was an Aldi there.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we went to a Food Lion a couple times too.
Oh, the food. Yeah.
But that wasn't too bad. They had some buy one, get ones. But our groceries were a little higher than normal. But I think, again, when the grocery bill goes up, the eating out bill goes way down.
Yeah.
It all balances out. All right, next up, we have our shopping for the month. Total of $151. Household stuff.
Yeah.
Just normal cleaning supplies, paper towels, nothing special.
Right.
I think we got a magnet and a sticker. We normally get some sort of thing from those places. Not much. So really pretty low shopping this month. It was pretty easy. Yeah. But we were there for a long time. So we did have some things we had to replace.
So our final category of spend for 40 days in Myrtle Beach was entertainment. That was $110. So again, in the off-season, things get cheaper. So good strategy. See if there are off-season pricing. See if there are things that are cheaper during the day, which we found with mini golf. And there are a lot of mini golf places in Myrtle Beach. So we went mini golfing during the day, which was cheaper, and it was off-season, which was cheaper. A friend of ours was in a theater show, so we bought tickets for that. And then we went and saw a movie. We were there for 40 days. There's some, there was a movie theater. We had a good time. Otherwise, it was just a lot of free beach. So those are our expenses for entertainment.
All right. So our grand total for our 40 days in Myrtle Beach was $5,222.67, which is $130.56 a day.
That's
very reasonable.
Yeah, that's
very reasonable.
Way more reasonable than we have had.
Yeah, we've had way over that. So that was a good. So that was a good recovery month for us. That's one of those things where I think you see it for people who are doing full-time travel, that they plan for these. We'll do an expensive location, we'll do an inexpensive location and kind of balance it out. This is seeing it in practice for us. You've seen us do the expensive locations. Now you can kind of see the inexpensive locations, see how that kind of balances out over that period of time. So it just helps keep our overall yearly budget where we want it.
Well, again, the reason why we're traveling in the United States is because of our dog, because we can't take her overseas. She's 14. So we know that traveling in the US is much more expensive than what we could do in other places in the world. Right. But for right now, that's what we're choosing to do to make sure our dog is happy and we're having as much fun as cheaply as possible.
Yeah, it's been great. And I don't think that's unreasonable for full-time travel. So
not in the US.
It's certainly not so bad. So Myrtle Beach has a lot to offer. Yeah. I'm sure in the middle of summer, this probably would have been up by a couple of $1,000s.
Oh, yeah, very much.
So, if you really like that area and you want to go in the middle of summer, yeah, it's probably going to cost you a little more. But if you don't mind going in off season, it's certainly a good option.
So going off season is a really great strategy to keep your travel budget a little bit lower.
All right. A couple more things that we have, not related to Myrtle Beach, but related to full-time travel. We do have a phone plan, $97.50, same as every month. It's not going to change. So we have a phone.
We also have postage, mail, and a few other things. We have a mail service since we don't have any place where we live right now full-time. So that was $61 a month.
Yep. I think we sent some birthday cards and
a few little things like that.
Yeah, it was a heavier month for people having birthdays. We have $40 in streaming services. So that's YouTube, no ads. We rotate in and out, whether we have Peacock or Apple TV or Netflix or whatever it is. They just sort of rotate depending on what we're watching. So it ends up being right around that every month. Sometimes it's a couple hours more, sometimes a couple hours less, but this month it was $40.
So our other category is personal shopping. These are things, again, unrelated to the trip we were on, but sometimes because we travel with so little, maybe a shirt gets a hole in it, or it's colder or warmer than we expected, so we have to replace one article of clothing. But the personal shopping are things like that. And that was $90.
Yep. I think it was a total of $288.50 for this month. So just, a little bit of additional spending if you're going to be full-time traveling, but not necessarily related to that location. So just to give you an overall of where we are for this month.
These were good strategies going the off season. It was very quiet, exactly what we wanted. And it saved us a lot of money on our travel spend.
Yep. It was great.
Yeah.
I think that's all we have for this month. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Happy traveling.